where prosecutors are investigating a Chinese man who illegally entered Taiwan on a speedboat. Some reports say he's claiming to be politically persecuted and is seeking freedom here. Now, Louise Watt is live for us in Taipei with the latest. Louise, what do we know so far?
The question on official minds is, does this man really want to flee to freedom? Or is it a case of China testing Taiwan's coastal defenses? What we do know is that the man, who's 60 years old, was in a Chinese-registered speedboat. And he entered the Danshui River estuary. That's a river in the north of Taiwan that leads to Taipei. And it's also an area that's considered by Taiwan's military to be vulnerable to a surprise Chinese attack. The Coast Guard seized the speedboat and arrested the man, but only after it reportedly hit a ferry that was parked at a pier. He's now being questioned by prosecutors. Some reports have said that the man has claimed that he is politically persecuted in China. But Guan Biling, who's the head of the government agency that oversees the Coast Guard, she revealed today that he previously served as a captain in the Chinese Navy. And she says she's also suspicious of him because he was, in her words, quite refined and well presented, suggesting he wasn't someone who was fleeing for his life. She also said that in the past year or so, there have been 18 similar cases of Chinese boats approaching Taiwan, although most of those were around islands closer to the Chinese coast. So she says this case could have been China testing Taiwan's defenses and its ability to spot small vessels.
Louise, some people have criticized the Coast Guard for not stopping the Chinese boat before it got close to land. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, the Coast Guard first spotted the boat on radar on Sunday at 9 a.m. when it was 6 nautical miles from the coast. But they only arrested the man and seized the boat some hours later. And that was after the operator of the ferry called the Coast Guard to let them know that this speedboat had hit his boat. It seems that when the Coast Guard initially saw the boat, they thought it was a Taiwanese fishing boat returning to shore. Now, who's the head of the Ocean Affairs Council, she said the radar was working fine, but the problem here was human error, and she says people will be punished. We're waiting to hear from the Coast Guard officials, and we'll bring you details as we get them.